Honorable members, please take your seats. Vinaka. Honorable members, please join me in warmly welcoming the students and the teachers of Navatu Primary School. And I have to clarify that this is Navatu in Ra. On behalf of all the honorable members, I warmly welcome you to Parliament, and I hope that this visit will deepen your appreciations of its working and offer meaningful insights into the vital role Parliament plays in shaping and safeguarding our democracy. And once again, Nisayandra Vinaka, Arnayandra, welcome to your Parliament and thank you for joining us today. We carry on from where we left off, honorable members, and I now call on the Minister for Defence and Veteran Affairs, the Honorable Pio Tikondua, to deliver his ministerial statement. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, the Leader of the Opposition, Cabinet Ministers, the Honorable Members of this House. And also in a special way, I join you, Honorable Madam Speaker, in welcoming Rangan Marama Matangali from Ra, from Navatu. And we hope that you will enjoy your time with us here in Parliament today. Madam Deputy Speaker, I wish to provide the House with an update on the reconciliation process undertaken by the Republic of Fiji Military Forces. This initiative is entirely internal to the institution and reflects its decision to examine its history, its internal culture, and the consequences of its past actions on different communities across Fiji. Madam Deputy Speaker, the RSMF recognizes that stable service to the nation requires a clear understanding of its own past. The institution has therefore begun by looking inward. It is assessing the events that shaped its identity and the internal attitudes that developed over the decades. This work is necessary for the RSMF to operate with consistency, discipline, and accuracy in understanding of its constitutional responsibilities. At the center of this effort are structured internal consultations involving former and current personnel, families, and individuals affected by the events of 1987, 2000, and 2006. These conversations have provided the RSMF with direct accounts of harm, disruption, and long-term impacts experienced by different groups. This process assists the institution to identify areas where internal systems must be improved and where historical assumptions require correction. Madam Deputy Speaker, the RSMF has acknowledged that the Indo-Fijian community experienced substantial and lasting consequences arising from the events of 1987. These consequences extended beyond immediate disruptions. Many Indo-Fijian families faced prolonged uncertainty about their safety, their livelihoods, and their long-term place in the country. Some relocated overseas, others remained, but carried an ongoing sense of insecurity that influenced many family decisions, employment choices, and community relationships. The RSMF recognizes that these impacts did not conclude with the passing of time. They form part of the lived history of the Indo-Fijian community and remain embedded in Fiji's collective memory. The institution has accepted that any credible reconciliation process must engage these realities directly. It also understands that approaching the Indo-Fijian community requires a method that is practical, respectful, and sustained. The RFMF is aware that the circumstances surrounding 1987, 2000, 2006 were complex. They involved political forces, social tensions, historical grievances, and institutional decisions that intersected in ways that cannot be reduced to a single narrative. This complexity means that no single gesture, whether symbolic or administrative, can address the full range of experiences carried by Indo-Fijian families. Madam Deputy Speaker, the RFMF is therefore considering a structured approach that balances cultural sensitivity with practical engagement. This includes identifying appropriate community representatives, consulting individuals who lived through the period, and documenting their accounts in a manner that accurately reflects the range of experiences that occurred. The RFMF is exploring how it might frame an acknowledgement of harm that avoids generalization and reflects the diversity of circumstances experienced within the Indo-Fijian community. The institution is also examining what form a request for forgiveness might take. It understands that such a step must not be symbolic alone. It must be based on clear understanding, proper preparation, and engagement that is meaningful for those who receive it. This may involve community-level discussions, written acknowledgements, or structured cultural processes analogous in intent to the Mataninga Sau presented to the Great Council of Chiefs, adapted appropriately for the Indo-Fijian community's cultural context. The RFMF's primary concern is to ensure that any approach is guided by accuracy, dignity, and a realistic understanding of what communities consider as genuine. Madam Deputy Speaker, this work is still in its early stages. The RFMF is collecting information, developing a clearer picture of what occurred, and identifying the methods through which it can approach the Indo-Fijian community in a way that is proportionate to the scale of the harm experienced. The institution's aim is to establish a path that recognizes past actions with honesty and that provides families with an opportunity to receive acknowledgement in a manner that supports long-term national cohesion. The objective is clarity. The RFMF does not seek symbolic actions without substance. It seeks to identify approaches that allow the institution to present itself honestly, acknowledge the effect of its past actions, and ask for forgiveness in a manner that is meaningful for families who lived through the period. The RFMF understands that these engagements must be consistent and they must be built on facts and not assumptions. Madam Deputy Speaker, an example of the institution taking responsibility is in a structured and culturally appropriate manner is the Mataninga Sau presented to the Moselewa Wakaturanga of the Great Council of Chiefs. Through this step, the RFMF acknowledged its past actions and their consequences on Fiji's traditional leadership structure. This was one component of a broader internal process. While the Mataninga Sau does not resolve all historical issues, it demonstrates the institution's willingness to confront its past openly and to engage respectfully with national institutions affected by its actions. This model of acknowledgement is informing the RFMF's consideration of how it may approach the Indo-Fijian community in a manner that is equally practical and appropriate. Madam Deputy Speaker, the RFMF is also examining its historic involvement in political affairs. The institution accepts that its actions in the past decades contributed to instability. It is now reviewing how its responsibilities are defined under the Constitution and determining what internal adjustments are required for it to operate as a professional defense institution under civilian authority. This involves reassessing command systems, leadership expectations, and internal decision-making structures to ensure consistency with modern defense standards. To describe this phase of work, we must think of it as clearing of a lens. The institution remains the military force of the state. What it seeks is a clearer understanding of itself. Over time, the lens through which the RFMF viewed its role and history became clouded by unexamined assumptions, internal tensions, and legacies of conflict. By clearing this lens through structured reflection, acknowledgement of past actions, and engagement with affected communities, the RFMF aims to gain an accurate picture of its responsibilities. A clearer internal lens allows the institution to function with fewer distortions and with greater stability. The RFMF has already implemented adjustments based on this reflection. These include strengthening support services, improving internal discussions on discipline and conduct, and expanding direct engagements with families of individuals affected by past events. It has also reaffirmed that behaviors linked to previous instability must not be repeated or permitted to influence current or future operations. Never again, Madam Deputy Speaker, should any citizen of Fiji or otherwise, use the RFMF as a means for political advantage. Madam Deputy Speaker, this internal reconciliation process is not designed to reinterpret history. It is a factual assessment intended to ensure that future decisions are based on accurate understanding rather than inherited assumptions. The RFMF has taken the view that it cannot carry unresolved internal issues into its future role. Addressing those issues now strengthens the institution's ability to serve with clarity, consistency, and respect for all communities affected by Fiji's past periods of instability. Honorable Madam Deputy Speaker, the government will continue to observe the RFMF's reconciliation process with care. This does not mean directing its internal work, nor does it mean remaining distant from it. The government recognizes that the RFMF must lead its own reflection. However, the government also has a responsibility to ensure that any institutional process related to national stability occurs within a framework that upholds the Constitution, respects the rights of all citizens, and supports unity across communities. For this reason, the government's involvement will be limited to areas where it supports, strengthens transparency, enhances professional standards, or ensures that the RFMF's work remains aligned with national expectations. Madam Deputy Speaker, national stability remains the primary priority. Fiji has experienced the consequences of instability before. The government is therefore focused on ensuring that the RFMF's internal process does not introduce uncertainty, but instead contributes to a stronger and more predictable security environment. Stability requires disciplined institutions. It also requires institutions that understand their past with clarity. The government views the RFMF's reconciliation process as an opportunity to reinforce these conditions. Institutional accountability is also central. As the state's defense institution, the RFMF holds significant responsibility. Its internal processes must therefore meet a high standard of accuracy, honesty, and completeness. The government will ensure that any outcomes presented publicly are factual and are supported by proper internal documentation. The government may also assist in developing structures such as professional development pathways, reformed internal reporting systems, or improved welfare and counseling frameworks that embed accountability and reduce the likelihood of future instability. Madam Deputy Speaker, fairness to all communities remains an essential component of this work. The effects of Fiji's previous conflicts were not uniform. Different groups experienced different forms of harm. The Indo-Fijian community experienced long-term consequences following the events of 1987. The Tauke communities also, and others, faced their own pressures during the later conflicts. The government's role is to ensure that no community is overlooked in the RFMF's internal reconciliation process, that engagements are grounded in accuracy, and that any steps taken towards acknowledgement or forgiveness are guided by fairness rather than selective emphasis. This balanced approach, careful oversight, practical support, and a clear focus on stability, accountability, and fairness creates an environment where the RFMF can carry out its internal work without external pressure, but with consistent alignment to national expectations and the long-term interests of all our Fijian people. Thank you, Honourable Madam Speaker.
I thank you for your ministerial statement, Honourable Pio Tikundua, Minister for Defence and Veteran Affairs. And now call upon the Leader of Opposition or his designate for their reply. Thank you, Leader of Opposition.
Thank you, Honourable Madam Deputy Speaker. And I thank the Honourable Minister for his ministerial statement addressing the internal reconciliation process currently undertaken by the Republic of Fiji Military Forces. I do agree with the Honourable Minister and acknowledge the leadership of the RFMF, the men and women, for such initiative. And of course, we wish them as well in the continuation of this process. The RFMF, as we all know, and as stated by the Honourable Minister, was involved. Its historic involvement in political affairs of the past that affected stability and, of course, to some extent, the security of our people and, of course, the country as well, Honourable Madam Deputy Speaker. I, for one, lived through almost all these upheavals. I was an officer cadet in 1987. I was a company commander in the year 2000. And of course, the Honourable Minister and I were in Staff College in 2006 when the events of 2006 happened, and then we came back, got promoted as unit commanders, and of course served in the ranks as well. And this is an institution that helped in shaping and molding us to be the person we are today. And there's a lot across both sides of the floor that were brought up by this institution, Madam Deputy Speaker. As I've stated, this internal reconciliation process is duly acknowledged. And again, I wish to convey our appreciation to the Commander of the Republic of Fiji Military Forces. And it comes at a critical time in our history and democratic journey It is a show of humility and respect. And again, I thank the commander and the men and women of the RFMF for doing so. The Honorable Minister has given us a clear outline of what has taken place, and of course, the ongoing consideration and the future plans that they have in order to complete the process. Honorable Minister, I appeared before the Reconciliation Committee of the RFMF as well. And maybe I'll just end my response with the same question that I asked them. And Honorable Minister, you have stated that never again should anyone use the RFMF for political advantage. And the question that I raised then with the committee is, will you be involved in the national reconciliation process? We understand that this is going parallel with the national reconciliation process, and I hope that you will be involved as well. Because as you have correctly stated, Honorable Minister, about the historic involvement in political affairs. We've said it once and we'll say it again today, because in revolutions you can. The military is the means, politics is the objective. They have presented their Matiling Asau to the Great Council of Chiefs, but the question remains, who are the politicians or who are the figures behind 1987? Who are the figures behind 2000? Who are the figures behind 2006? Because the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, as currently being undertaken, is concentrating on the victims and the reconciliation process rather than the truth-telling. And this is something that we need to address. We've said it when we deliberated on the Truth and Reconciliation Bill. Let's do it once and let's do it right. So the truth-telling is a key component of the Truth and Reconciliation process. And that is why we are urging the RFMF, if personnel who are involved can also be involved in the Truth and Reconciliation process. And I have also stated my concerns about the removal of the summoning power that was then with the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, and that is confirmed by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in their advertisement on the 8th of December in the Fiji Times. And if I may just read that out, Honorable Deputy Speaker, on paragraph 2, crucial to the Commission's work is the conduct of hearings, either public or private, where the survivors and witnesses are provided with a safe space to share their testimonies. The Commission does not have the power to summon, but can examine witnesses under oath. I'm urging government and I'm urging the RFMF, the participation of RFMF personnel and also the civilians who have been released from prison, if they can participate in the truth-telling. Because if we do not address this issue now, when will we address it? Let's move the country forward. And I hope that government will look into this, and I hope that the Honorable Minister can provide some directions to, hopefully to the RFMF, so that they can participate in the national reconciliation process. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Siruratu, the Leader of the Opposition. Honorable members, this brings us to the end of ministerial statements, and now we will proceed to the next item on the order paper. Secretary General.
Questions.
Honorable members, please take note that the oral question 363 of 2025 has dropped from the order paper, as this subject has been addressed through the ministerial statement by the Minister for Finance earlier today. I now call upon the Honorable Hemchand to ask question 335.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Before I ask the question, I would like to congratulate all the EID students for completing primary education. I wish them well for secondary education. My question 335 of 2025 is to Minister for Education. Can the Minister inform Parliament whether allowances, including acting allowances for teachers and non-teaching staff, are paid in a timely manner?
Thank you, Honorable Chand. Honorable Minister, you have the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. Onset, I was thinking that this question should never have made it because quite public information available. And as a former director, Human Resource in the Ministry of Education is to be well aware of the current situation. The payment of acting allowances for teachers, yes, we are doing that. And at times there will be some delays because of verification purposes, and that is nothing new. Something that has always been the case in terms of acting allowances, acting positions. And given that those that have been acting on the positions for quite some time, they have been paid. But because of the delays in the responses or advice that is given, they also taken time to pay the acting allowance. If there are instances of staff having concerns brought to your attention, sir, or you have been advised internally, please bring it to our attention. Thank you.
Follow-up question. Thank you, Honorable Chand.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. This information regarding the non-payment of the acting allowance, it is not publicly available. This is current issue, that's why I'm asking. If allowances, including acting allowance, are not paid in time, staff morale will be low and it will negatively impact Ministry of Education by decreasing productivity. I have been informed that some staff at the headquarters have not been paid acting allowance, and even some teachers who are acting are yet to receive the acting allowance. My question to Honorable Minister is why acting allowances have not been paid to staff? What is causing the delay?
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
So those questions I've just answered, that allowance has been paid. For those that have not been paid allowance, there is a process that needs to be followed. And we have to ensure that the allowance have been paid to the right person. As the Honourable Member is aware, there are instances that payments have been continuing for ghost employee in the Ministry of Education. So this is something that we would like to not repeat going forward.
Honorable Sharma and then Honorable Maharaj. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. There's a background to the question. From the article I received from a staff of Ministry of Education, Ministry of Finance set aside 11.8 million overtime payments for established and unestablished civil servants in the 2025-2026 financial year. So that's good news for the civil servants who are working overtime. The question to the Minister is, the drivers at the Ministry of Education, one of them have raised a concern with me that, sir, I have not been paid allowance for the last 3 months. So can the Minister provide a timeline on when this will be paid out?
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
I think the questions, Madam Speaker, is becoming operational in nature. The process needs to be followed. Like, if you can give us the details, there are a lot of process that needs to be followed prior to the payment of allowance. First, the overtime needs to be approved. And if it's not approved, then the overtime becomes illegal. That's the process that needs to be verified. So if you can provide the details of the person that is giving you the information, rather than just generalizing without any specific details. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Maharaj, your supplementary question.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Thank Minister for that comprehensive answer that he gave. And I feel pity on the Minister trying to justify the non-performance of his staff. My simple question to the Minister is, now that he has confirmed that there are a lot of acting positions in Ministry of Education, and he was a very strong critic when he was a member of Public Accounts Committee, when people they used to act on a certain position. Can Minister confirm when all these acting positions are going to be confirmed to the people who are actually acting on this particular position? Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Most of these acting positions were there during his time when he was Assistant Minister for Labour. He did not take initiatives to process all those acting positions. We have to do the advertisement. As you might be aware, as a former acting Assistant Minister for Labour, processes has to be followed. Advertisement, you cannot just confirm. There are some processes that were undertaken to confirm this position, but also there's existing people, because people have migrated, people have left for greener pastures, creating positions that needed to be advertised as per OMRS to fill in the positions. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to the next question now. I call on the Honorable Ratu Rakuita Baklalambure to ask question 336.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. My question 336 of 2025 is directed to the Honourable Minister for Immigration. Can the Honourable Minister inform Parliament on any specific improvements in visa and work permit processing times resulting from the immigration policy changes implemented over the past year? Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, sir. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Thank Honorable Baklalambure for the question. He's a former Assistant Minister for Immigration and understands the connection of the work that we do at immigration with economic prosperity, and also the connection to upholding our security at our borders, and the need to be efficient when we process our visas and permit. Because of that reason, not only fast, but making sure that security is not compromised in the process. Just for maybe a refresher, visa is simply it gives you a person the mobility right to travel from wherever they are to Fiji and enter the country. There are 80 countries in the world that require pre-entry visas to Fiji out of the 195 countries. Permit really authorizes a person to conduct an activity and reside in Fiji. So you can have a permit to work and reside, to study and reside, to invest and reside in Fiji. And this is the two, visa and permits, are services that the ministry conducts for non-citizens. And the services that we conduct for Fiji citizens are mainly around the issuing of passports. For visas, Madam Deputy Speaker, we set a standard time of 14 days from the date of payment to when they receive the feedback from us. One of the systems that was introduced in 2024 was the DMS, document management system. And now the visa system has been migrated to this system. It is now much faster. It can even be turned around in a day if everything, the documents that are provided are in order. That's for visa. For permits, the processing time from the date of payment of the fee is 21 days, and we try as much as we can to be within that time frame. In some cases, we take a little bit longer. If documents are not in order, and we go back and forth with the applicants. In some cases, it's much faster if everything is provided on time. I was just Googling Australia. Australia, the shortest time frame for any visa is 1 to 3 months. And for work visa for skilled personnel is about 18 months. We try and do it in 21 days. And we try all the time to be efficient. We know how important it is to the companies here in Fiji that want to employ foreigners to come over and work. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister. Any supplementary questions? No supplementary questions. We shall carry on. I now call upon the Honourable Virendra Lal to ask his question.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I rise to ask question 337 under my name to the Minister for Public Works, Meteorological Services and Transport. Can the Minister inform Parliament if there are plans for the development of the water treatment plant in Nalawa Ra to ease water problems along Navesau Secondary School to Wadavani in Ra, Naka?
Thank you, Honourable Lal. I think it's a timely question for the members of the public in the audience in the public gallery. I give the floor to you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I thank the Honourable Member for the question. Madam Deputy Speaker, the plans to address water supply challenges in the Lalau area, including Navesau Secondary School through to Maduvani and Ra, are embedded within the Water Sector Strategy 2050, specifically identified from the previous 2019 Korvo to Rakiraki Water Supply Master Plan and 2019 Rakiraki Water Master Plan. Under these plans, they propose the Kuivuna scheme will establish a new water treatment plant drawing from the Kuivuna Creek. This facility is intended to serve the southern end of the Korvo Rakiraki reticulation gap and extend northwards to include Navesau Adventist High School and surrounding communities. The Rakiraki Master Plan further outlines measures to strengthen supply at the northern end of the reticulation gap. These include upgrades to existing intake and pumping infrastructure, sourcing additional water from the Penang River, and constructing raw water storage to supplement dry season intake. Further supply options also would consider sourcing from the Wainimbuka River. I've made initial discussions and had a look at the proposed site with relevant landowner representatives. Subsequent to this, further discussions have been held with the Global Green Growth Institute in terms of feasibility. Looking ahead, even with the improved non-revenue water management, demand beyond the current 20-year planning horizon will necessitate additional interventions, such as the expanded raw water storage, new sources at Wainimbuka, as I mentioned, and potential desalination, including solar desalination. Further, in addition to what I mentioned, the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank is undertaking a diagnostic study focused on strengthening climate resilience for rural infrastructure, including water and sanitation. This study encompasses 7 rural clusters, across which 11 will live, one of which is the Mataiwe Lebum Barotu cluster in Ra. Preliminary assessments for this cluster align with the Korvo Rakiraki Master Plan and proposed sourcing from the Wainimbuka River. Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank and Global Green Growth Institute, GGI, have expressed interest in supporting feasibility studies, concept and detailed designs, and construction works for these proposals, which we are progressing. They have also indicated willingness to fund the existing Water Authority of Fiji projects identified in the Water Sector Strategy 2050 that will deliver tangible benefits to communities within these clusters.
Thank you, Honourable Rofilipe. Do we have any supplementary questions? Honourable Lal? No, sir? Thank you. Minaka, we shall carry on. I now call upon the Honorable Alvik Maharaj, I beg your pardon, to ask his question. Thank you, and I apologize, Honorable Alvik.
No worries, Madam Deputy Speaker. I know we are the naughty ones these days, but we haven't changed our name. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. My question is 339 of 2025 and is directed to Minister for Health and Medical Services. Can the Minister inform Parliament on the current national average wait time for the specialist appointment and the Ministry funded plan to recruit sufficient specialist medical practitioners over the next 12 years? Thank you.
Thank you. I give the floor to the Honorable Minister for Health and Medical Services.
Thank you, Honourable Madam Deputy Speaker. Thank the Honourable Member for his question. In terms of the current national average waiting time for specialist appointment is closely linked to the availability of qualified specialists and the recruitment processes. The Ministry of Health and Medical Services employs through the open merit recruitment and selection process to fill specialist position as it does for all other vacant roles. And in the OMRS guideline, the requirement for a successful recruiting and selecting post holders is within 4 months of the advertisement's closing date. At present, 80% of the 99 specialist positions are filled, while 20% remain vacant, with the highest vacancies in Chief Medical Officer post at 29%. And a significant challenge arises from the lack of suitable and qualified candidates, which can delay the filling of specialist positions. And in such cases, these positions are often re-advertised. For the past 5 years, recruitment has improved significantly. For example, in 2021, only 52% of advertised specialist positions were filled within 4 months, and 48% had to be re-advertised. By 2025, 83% of positions were filled within 4 months, and re-advertisement dropped to 17%, reflecting better strategies and candidate availability. The Ministry has funded plan for the approved doctor's budget of 82.4 million for the 2025-2026 fiscal year. In addition to paying salaries to all field doctors' positions, we continue to advertise and recruit specialists for all vacant positions as they arise within the next 12 months, and continue succession planning, allowing acting appointments to maintain service delivery while candidates complete specialist registration. And we also engage locum specialists where necessary. And specialist distributions by field currently stands: internal medicine, 11 specialists; anesthesia, 9 specialists; ONG, 8 specialists; general surgery, 6 specialists; pediatrics, 5 specialists; ophthalmology, 3 specialists; radiology, 3 specialists; neurosurgery, psychiatry, urology, rehabilitation medicine, 1 specialist each; and public health sitting at 19 specialists. And these figures highlight critical shortages in areas such as neurosurgery, psychiatry, neurology, and rehabilitation medicine, which the Ministry is prioritizing in its recruitment drive. And in conclusion, Madam Deputy Speaker, the Ministry remains committed to equitable specialist distribution and improved access to quality healthcare. With the assistance of the WHO access to quality healthcare, we are implementing strategic measures to build a responsive, well-balanced workforce within the formulation of the National Strategic Workforce Plan for Health 2025 to 2034. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister. Honourable Alvik Maharaj, you have a supplementary question?
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I thank Minister for his answer. This is a very serious issue in Fiji. We have seen many of our patients traveling to India, Australia for the treatment. What we have actually seen, and thanks to the Chinese government, the Chinese team that actually came and did a lot of surgeries in Fiji, this actually shows that we do have infrastructure to carry out this kind of surgeries in Fiji. Even neurosurgery and all those things, we do have the infrastructure. Are there any plans to recruit doctors from China and India on bilateral terms? Is there any talks to actually bring in these specialists so that our patients, they don't have to fly out of Fiji, and those surgeries can be conducted within Fiji? Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Minister?
Thank you, and I thank the honourable member for the question. Yes, that's dependent on what service we plan to bring to Fiji to aid the patients in Fiji who are waiting further tertiary care treatment. For example, for ophthalmic surgeries, yes, we continue to receive visiting teams such as the one that from China, Guangdong province, and other teams that come in not in various parts of Fiji. You can go to Natubu, the Lalauram Foundation. They do come in on a periodic time frame in terms of ensuring that these kinds of surgeries are done here in Fiji. And we must not also forget that the current assistance that the government of India is giving not only Fiji and the region, that will add benefit to patients who usually go to India, and that they can have the service or specialty service done here in Fiji at the site that have been identified. So that is something within the plan, but within the ministry itself, we continue to engage with our development partners, with visiting teams. We have budget for visiting teams that come over to ensure that they come and do the services that is very much needed, and in the process look after the patients, especially in terms of reducing the backlog of cases that do require this specialist treatment.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Leader of Opposition.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, while giving your response, it just reminds me of our diaspora as well. Are they part of this specialist list, and do we have some arrangements in which we can use our diaspora, given their expertise and whatever, to come and help as well, and probably some incentives that we can give them? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. For the ones that I do know of, in terms of the diaspora that do come in and assist the ministry, especially with specialist service, there are some that usually come on a basis whereby they are loaned to us from the respective hospital that they work in. And that is an arrangement that is done between the ministry and the respective organization. But nevertheless, look, we have some very, very supportive specialist diaspora out there in Australia, New Zealand, and the US who are willing to come over and volunteer their time in terms of delivering health services that are not currently available in Fiji. And for that, we as the ministry always try and accommodate them in any way that we can, so that, that they are here to provide the essential services for which we are grateful.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. We'll move on to the next question now. Honorable members, please take note that oral question 340 has been dropped from the order paper, as the subject matter has been addressed through the ministerial statement by the Minister for Finance on Thursday, the 27th of November. I now call upon the Honorable Rinesh Sharma to ask his question.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I rise to ask question 341 of 2025 under my name to the Minister for Public Works, Meteorological Services and Transport. Can the Minister inform Parliament on the number of body cams being introduced for LTA officers?
Thank you. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honourable Member, for the question, Honourable Sharma and Honourable Madam Deputy Speaker. So, just strictly the answer is one number. But I'll go through this. I thank the Honourable Member for the questions regarding the usage, purpose and safety considerations of body-worn camera devices within the LTA.
Honorable Minister, I'm sorry, I think you need to speak up. Some of the members can't hear you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Can you hear?
I can.
The intention behind the introduction of body-worn cameras, BWC devices, is to complement existing safety standards and operational procedures. These devices provide significant benefits to law enforcement officers by enhancing their health and safety, particularly in situations that may pose perceived or actual risks. BWCs are internationally recognized for promoting public reassurance, modifying behavior, preventing harm, and deterring individuals from committing offenses or engaging in antisocial behavior. In addition to frontline safety, the recordings captured by BWCs also support professional development through training and review. They further assist with investigations, especially in cases where allegations may be made against LTA officers, ensuring a transparent and evidence-based process. Regarding activation, officers begin recording as soon as a roadside enforcement checkpoint is established. They are also required to activate the BWC when approaching high-risk areas of activities, and the device remains active until such activities are completed. Further, officers may activate the device at any time they feel threatened or unsafe, as guided by the BWC standard operating procedures, SOP, and applicable laws. At present, the authorities piloting 5 body-worn camera units with the central and eastern enforcement teams. There are plans to expand this pilot by trialing the same units with enforcement teams in the western and northern divisions. This structured pilot approach allows the authority to assess operational viability before wider deployment. On safety matters, the primary concern relates to privacy and data protection. To address these issues, the LTA has engaged suppliers who have provided robust and practical data security solutions. This includes strict access controls, secure encrypted storage of footage, and clearly defined retention timelines to ensure automatic deletion of recordings when they are no longer required. The ongoing pilot is crucial in validating the effectiveness of these protections before full-scale implementation. The initiative demonstrates government's commitment to strengthening enforcement, integrity, safeguarding officers, and enhancing public trust in transport regulation.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Koya, your supplementary question.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. Honourable Minister, if I heard you correctly, you said the activation and deactivation of these vests is with the officer. If that is correct, does that not defeat the purpose? Should it not be activated once they leave the LTA and deactivated when they come back to ensure the recordings are correctly done?
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't they haven't demonstrated it to me personally, but that's what they have informed me in terms of the activation. I don't think there's, from the explanation, there's no centralized sort of control system where somebody is monitoring them. So it's sort of a standalone on its own at the moment. So it's being piloted, and that's something which I'll need to verify in terms of the answer to your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Sharma and then Honourable Usamate.
Thank you, Honourable Madam Deputy Speaker. This has come at a very right time, and I thank the government for implementing this body cams for the enforcement officers, because with the doubling of speeding fines, the chances of bribery are much higher. Now, the question to the Minister is there a time frame by when every enforcement officer, whether you're passing a vehicle, stopping a car, or stopping a truck, would be equipped with this body cam? Because I've understood from your explanation, it's not centralized as of yet, but they can be tampered with as well. So is there a time frame by when LTA would be enforcing this to every officer, and even including the police force as well eventually, time to come?
Thank you. Honourable Rofilipe Tusawao.
Well, as I mentioned, thank you. As I mentioned, it's on a pilot at the moment. So the time frame for that, I'll need to get further information on that. So most probably about 6 months, and then see how it goes from there. The other issue there is we need to tighten up on the regulatory and legislative framework around it. Because there's also concerns regarding that, for example, privacy of data, etc. Also the implications, both sides, for the operator and the public. Thank you.
Thank you. The final supplementary question from you, Honorable Osamate.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I congratulate LT for going to this particular step. I think once it's fully operational, it will have a lot of benefits. Currently, the system, is it a recording system or does it send the images by Wi-Fi or by data to some place where it's deposited centrally?
Thank you,
I
Honorable
need
Minister.
to verify that. No, I need to verify that. Answer.
Thank you. We'll carry on. I now call upon the Honorable Penyoni Rabunawa to ask his question.
And good afternoon, Madam Deputy Speaker. I rise to ask question number 342 of 2025. Question is directed to the Honorable Minister for Lands and Mineral Resources. Can the Minister update Parliament on the recent e-plan lodgement system and how it would contribute to Fiji infrastructure and land development? Naka.
Thank you, sir. I call upon the Minister for Lands and Mineral Resources, the Honorable Philemon Vasarongo.
Madam Deputy Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to provide the House with the answer to that question. But before I do so, Madam Deputy Speaker, perhaps I join you in welcoming and also congratulating my young Tauhus from Navatu in Ra for joining us this afternoon. I was mistaken, Madam Deputy Speaker, because when I came in and I heard that they were from Navatu, I immediately greeted them in my dialect. And then I saw confused faces, and then I realized it's probably Navatu from Ra. But I think, Madam Deputy Speaker, you know, the Ra province is the most unique province in Fiji. The reason why I say that, Madam Deputy Speaker, is whether it's morning, noontime, or even at midnight, you get greeted with Aranayana all the time. So thank you for joining us in Parliament today. Now, Madam Deputy Speaker, before I go to the question again, my colleague on this side of the House, the Honourable Leader of Government in Business, have had to answer some very serious questions from the other side about body cams. My take on that, Madam Deputy Speaker, is, you know, we can sit comfortably in the House of Parliament. They had 16 years to do body cams and bring that in to facilitate that which they are concerned about. They're concerned about bribery, they're concerned about safety. All of this concern, Madam Deputy Speaker, they had absolute discretion for 16 years to do that. And Madam Deputy Speaker, they did nothing.
Thank you, Honorable Koya. Your point of order is which?
60, Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, and I must repeat what the Honorable Leader of Government says, 61, Honorable Speaker. Relevance. Honorable Deputy Speaker, his question is related to something else completely, and I think he's gone off another tangent. Maybe he's taken up the mantle from Honorable Biman Prasad. But he is being irrelevant, Madam Speaker.
Fair enough. Thank you, Honorable Koya. Continue, Honorable Vasarongo.
Madam Deputy Speaker, I accept that and concede to that point made by my learned friend. There's no need to malign Dr. Prasad in his reference. Madam Deputy Speaker, the e-lodgement system represents government's initiative of modernizing Fiji's land administration, and it seeks to move survey plan lodgement to an online platform. Thus, the ministry is seeking to position itself to deliver a more efficient, more transparent service by providing all of the stakeholders with improved access to survey and cadastral data. Madam Deputy Speaker, on the 7th of November this year, the ministry launched the phase 2 of the e-plan lodgement system. marking a significant milestone in the ministry's ongoing digital transformation agenda. This phase extends the platform's access to external surveyors from private firms and other government agencies, allowing them to lodge survey plans directly through online portal. Hence, the phase one, Madam Deputy Speaker, of the e-plan lodgement system successfully introduced an internal online platform for ministry surveyors to lodge and assess plans digitally using specialized survey software, as this provided insights that improve the workflow within the ministry and set the foundation for wider adaptation. Madam Deputy Speaker, this initiative demonstrates this coalition government's continued commitment to modernizing land administration and enhancing efficiency, transparency, and accountability within the ministry. Ministry has prioritized transitioning from manual, paper-based systems to an integrated digital platform that delivers a more faster and more reliable service, since land survey and registration services are essentially for ensuring accurate mapping, secure tenure, and sound land management across Fiji. The e-lodgement system directly addresses one of the sector's long-standing challenge, and I'm sure that we will all agree, it's the delay in plan assessment. Traditionally, Madam Deputy Speaker, the approval process for survey plans could take up to 90 days. And that's really on the conservative. Sometimes it goes for months, and sometimes, unfortunately, it'll sit for years. However, with this new system, the ministry is aiming to reduce this by 45%. So the target really out of this online platform improvement is to have a 30-day turnaround. Madam Deputy Speaker, it's not just an improvement in process, it is a transformation in how we deliver service to the people of Fiji. Faster processing means better service delivery, improved investor confidence, and greater satisfaction for stakeholder and the public. However, in the integration strengthens the ministry's digital infrastructure and supports improved coordination between land information systems and other government databases to ensure data consistency, security, and accuracy across all of the platforms. Madam Deputy Speaker, the vision for this e-lodgement system is vividly clear by connecting all surveyors in Fiji to the e-plan platform and standardize the use of common survey software across the profession, as this will enhance collaboration between the public and the private sector and promote consistent data standards nationwide. Madam Deputy Speaker, the ministry is committed to modernizing our land administration and plan survey lodgement processes in line with its mandate to administer, develop, manage state land initiatives. Before I take my seat, Madam Deputy Speaker, this e-platform initiative or platform, online platform, was wholly developed by IT experts within my own GIM division. And I want to acknowledge them here. These are hardworking young IT specialists who I challenged them a year ago that we don't need to get consultants to come and do what we know should be done. They know it, and they have the skill set to get it done. And so to the manager, Mazin Hicks, the supervisor, Rocky Nudake, and the team made up of Jeannie Bentley, Sivnish Singh, and Onesimus Pasikali. Thank you very much for all the hard work that you put into this, and you are part of history in the making for our country. Thank you very much, Madam Deputy.
Thank you very much, Honourable Vosarongo. Do we have any supplementary questions, honourable members? If not, we'll carry on. Honourable members, please take note that oral question 343 has been dropped from the order paper, as the subject matter was addressed by the Minister for Public Works, Met Services and Transport on Thursday, the 27th of November during question time. Honourable members, also please take note that oral question 340 has been withdrawn by Honourable Alipate Tuivolo, and that means, honourable members, that question time is now over. Secretary General.
Consideration of bills.
Honourable members, we have 3 bills to deal with today, and I now call upon the Prime Minister and Minister for Foreign Affairs and External Trade, the Civil Service, Public Enterprises, the Honourable Sitibeni Rambuka, to move his motion.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I rise, Madam Deputy Speaker, that pursuant to Standing Orders 51, I move that the registration of skilled professionals repeal Bill 2025, Bill number 44 of 2025, be considered by Parliament without delay, that the bill must pass through one stage at a single sitting of Parliament, that the bill must not be referred to a standing committee or other committee of Parliament, and that the bill must be debated and voted upon by Parliament on Thursday, the 4th of December, 2025, and that I be given 1 hour, or that 1 hour be given, don't give me 1 hour, Madam Speaker. 1 hour be given for the debate with the right of reply given to me as the Minister or the member moving this motion.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Is there a seconder?
Madam Deputy Speaker, I beg to second the motion.
Thank you. I now call upon the Prime Minister and Minister for Foreign Affairs and External Trade, Civil Service and Public Enterprises, the Honourable Sitibeni Rambuka, to speak to his motion. Thank you, sir.
Madam Deputy Speaker, may I also add my words of welcome to the students of Novatu in Ra. I would encourage them to ask their fathers and grandfathers and parents to take them to Novatu in the Konrobe, where your relatives now reside after passing through the interior of Vitilevu, through to the coasts of Goma and Mulumulewa, round to Verata, before we went through the islands of Lomaviti to be in Vunulevu, where we now reside. Madam Deputy Speaker, the Registration of Skilled Professionals Act of 2016, the Act, was enacted with the intention of addressing shortage of specialized skills in Fiji by establishing a dedicated mechanism to attract and register foreign skilled professionals, and its goal was to provide an additional pathway to fill immediate gaps in sectors critical to Fiji's development. To operationalize that objective, the Act was established. A Skilled Professionals Evaluation Committee was set up, mandated to assess Fiji's need for skilled professionals, evaluate applications for special registration, and issue directives to facilitate the employment of foreign professionals. In so doing, the committee was also tasked with positioning Fiji as a competitive destination for skilled professionals. However, Madam Deputy Speaker, in practice, the Act has inadvertently established a parallel pathway that bypasses well-established registration, licensing, and vetting systems long administered by statutory professional bodies and by the Ministry of Immigration. This duplication has created uncertainty, blurred institutional mandates, and in some instances, avoided essential checks that exist to uphold public safety, national interests, and professional integrity. Our professional bodies and the Ministry of Immigration possess the statutory authority, technical expertise, and institutional experience that are necessary to assess qualifications, competency, fitness to practice, and suitability for entry to work in Fiji. Their roles are integral to maintaining standards of service, protecting communities, and safeguarding our borders. These roles should not be weakened, compromised, or overlooked. When decisions about skilled professionals are made outside of these established frameworks, Fiji is exposed to considerable risk, including the potential for negligence, substandard professional practices, and regulatory gaps that compromise public health, safety, and welfare. Skilled professionals, such as those in healthcare, engineering, and other specialized technical fields, operate under strict regulatory standards designed to ensure competence and accountability. These standards should not be bypassed or weakened in the interest of expediency and likewise fast-tracking entry, work, or residency permits outside of normal immigration processes create vulnerabilities that affect our national security and Fiji's integrity as a destination for tourism and investment. By implication, the Act created a second gate at the border that weakened the processes I have just indicated, thus compounding the risks for Fiji. For these reasons, Madam Deputy Speaker, and in the interest of strengthening and upholding our regulatory systems, protecting public safety, and reinforcing the mandates of our professional and immigration authorities, I commend this bill to Parliament. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Honourable members, the floor is now open for debate on the motion. At the end of the debate, we will have the right of reply from the Honourable Prime Minister. Members may speak for up to 20 minutes, and I now ask if anyone would like to participate in the debate. Honourable Maharaj, you have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Madam Deputy Speaker, as I always say that I don't have an issue of the use of order number 51. But in this instance, I would actually request Honourable Prime Minister if this can be sent to the committee. I'd like to declare my interest, and I'll actually explain why I'm requesting this. In Fiji, as a business owner and a pharmacy owner, we have a critical shortage of pharmacists in Fiji. We have a registration process, but our registration process basically follows Australia and New Zealand standard. In our Pharmacy Profession Act, if we look at the Act itself, only people who can actually come and work in as a pharmacist in Fiji and who are pre-qualified to work as a registered pharmacist in Fiji, if they are from Australia, New Zealand, US, Great Britain, or South Africa. Now, we very well know in Fiji, we pay just around 50 grand to a pharmacist. But pharmacists overseas, in these countries, they are earning close to around 100 to 150,000 in their own currency. So why would these people actually opt to come and fill the skill shortage gap that is actually created by our graduates moving out of the country? In order for us to fill in this gap, we actually need to bring in professionals from countries like Philippines, Indonesia, India. But unfortunately, the Pharmacy Profession Act doesn't recognize pharmacists from these areas. There is a high shortage. Recently, there was a registration exam in which I was told that 30 students they set for the exam, but only 3 passed. Most of the pharmacies, if you actually visit in Fiji, the owners themselves are actually working as pharmacists because we don't have enough pharmacists in Fiji. Likewise, there was an issue when this particular bill was brought about, and I did debate on this. There are a lot of professionals who actually try to come and set up medical camps in Fiji. And they actually have to go through the whole registration process, even though they actually come on a voluntary basis, trying to assist our health system. Because as the question was, we don't have number of qualified specialists to cater for the demand and the need that is existing within Fiji. Having removed this, if somebody goes to the Fiji Medical Council to actually try to get an approval or get a license, it might actually take ages to get it done. For example, if we try to bring in somebody from Philippines to work as a pharmacist in Fiji, they need to come and do a 2-year internship and then sit for the exam. How can we fill in the skill gap if they actually have to come and sit for this registration exam to practice in Fiji? So, Honorable Prime Minister, I urge you, if this can be sent to the committee for the relevant consultation to be done with the stakeholders, and then if we can actually debate this. I'm not saying not to repeal it, but let's send it to the committee at least for a month, and by the time we come back in Feb, we'll actually have a clear picture as to what other sectors are saying in terms of gap, in terms of skilled professionals in Fiji. So that's my request, Honorable Prime Minister, if this can be sent to the committee at least for a month for them to do the consultation with relevant stakeholders, because as a pharmacy owner, I wasn't consulted on this. And I don't think even the Fiji Pharmaceutical Society was consulted, because we are one of the major stakeholders and part of this as well. So that's just a request to the Honorable Prime Minister, if this can be sent to the committee for at least a month, and then we can debate on this particular bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Maharaj Naka. Honorable members, I see the Honorable Minister for Health and Medical Services. Thank you, sir. You have the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Madam Deputy Speaker. Rise in support of the motion of the bill, and it's under 51. When I took office as the minister, one of the first things that was brought to my attention was the workers that were brought through this process to come and work, such as in the pharmacy industry, that they did not go through the proper processes as our local pharmacists do. And that is why he may have, Honorable Maharaj may have raised his interest in terms of with regards to the bill. But from the pharmacists that I have been in contact with, they are fully supportive of the repeal of this bill, so that we can all, whoever wants to come and work here, can be channeled into just one registration process that applies to everyone. There is something that we are currently trying to improve as we speak, and that can be brought forward in its entirety on the act that governs the workforce itself. Nevertheless, like I mentioned, it is one of the first few things that was brought to my attention in terms of fairness for pharmacists that have gone through the process of registration locally, and there was a different, rule that applied for those that came under this the process. With that being said, Madam Deputy Speaker, we are also in Honorable PM's visit to India. We had also approached the government of India in terms of workforce assistance, especially in certain areas within the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Health, and one in particular is pharmacy, and that is something that we are in the discussion phase of the process, and we look forward to working with the Ministry of Employment in this. But what I want to say in support of the bill passing through 51, because I support it as it is, and simply for the fact that for registration purposes, it's done for a reason, for safety standards, and if a standard is applied to us here at home, and it should be applied universally to everyone that wants to come and work in Fiji, especially in a pharmacy setting. Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Do we have another supplementary question? Honorable Nopoto, I see your microphone on.
Thank you. I'm not asking a supplementary question, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Sorry, I beg your pardon.
In contributing to the debate, I think there is merit to move this on 51. What we're doing is closing one door and just have one door for people to come through to Fiji immigration. Before this, there was only one. It was the Immigration Act. Having this on the side is from a security perspective, I do not think is a good idea. This came in 2016. Before that, everything and everybody that came to Fiji came through this door that was provided by the Immigration Act of 2003. So I think there is merit. I firmly believe that there is merit to move this under 51 and close the door, and just to ensure that just the one door is there, easier to control. As I said, before this, all the professionals that came to Fiji came through that way, via the Immigration Act, and we work with professional bodies to help us decide as to whether these are professionals or not. So I very much support the motion to move this under 51. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Nopoto. Also taking part in the debate, Honorable Leader of Opposition.
Yes, please.
Naka.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. We have no problems with 51, but as we are suggesting as a compromise, just to bring it again in the first sitting next year, Honorable Madam Deputy Speaker. We understand that the fact is there is definitely skill shortage, and we don't want to compromise the standards, but it's good that we refer it to the committee, bring it back early next year, and then so that we can have a balanced view of all the submissions that are made to the committee. Because I know that probably not only for this particular profession, but we have these archaic laws. The Honorable Minister for Agriculture knows the veterinary, agriculture faces the same. We cannot get vets from other countries simply because of this. Because previously, most of our systems were just structured around Australia, New Zealand, and the Commonwealth. When it comes to quarantine regulations, we cannot, most of the private sector, they used to argue, we've just come back from Brazil. Brazil is one of the largest food-producing countries. But our trading partners are importing from Brazil to their systems, because their systems is allowed, and then they re-export to Fiji. But we cannot go directly to these countries. These are the archaic laws that we have. And this is a typical example. So I would kindly suggest to government, we have no problems with 51, but just move it to February sitting, and then we come and debate this. Because of the so many reasons that I have outlined, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Leader of Opposition. Honorable Minister for Justice.
Madam Speaker, the real purpose why we want to repeal this bill and use Standing Order 51, because if we repeal this, there is no gap. They are saying there is a gap. No, there is no gap. What used to exist, there is a work permit committee that comprises of all relevant agencies. So here, for example, for agriculture, there will be one from agriculture will sit in. What happened, the previous government, they took it out. So there is no committee that scrutinizes the application. The problem with this law, first it's very brief one, and section 5, the committee has the powers necessary to enable to perform its functions, including the following: to issue directive. That means to the authority that is granted. Only immigration around the world is given that authority. Why that authority is subject to another committee makes no sense. That's the reason, Madam Speaker, if we repeal it, there is no gap. All you have to do is immigration reorganize itself, reaffirm back the work permit committee, all the related agencies, and they can fast track the process. So I support the motion before the House.
Thank you, Honorable Minister for Justice. Honorable Koya.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. Just to clarify something, I think this, what needs to be said is that the people that actually sat on this committee, Honorable Prime Minister, were 5 permanent secretaries. So it wasn't a willy-nilly committee that just approved everything, and the reason why that was given has been spelled out earlier. So we're not asking anything except for, I think there was a major reason why this was being done. It wasn't really affecting immigration that much. It was a case of just making sure that it was processed quick enough, because we had some very archaic methodology with respect to qualifications, etc., all that. And it needed to be done because there was a gap. So we had 5 permanent secretaries sitting there, sir. So you can't say that it wasn't something there. So 1 month, sir, is all we're asking in, so that we can get the other sectors of the community and to see what they need also. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Koya. If there is no more interest in debating the motion before the House right now, honorable members, I will now call upon the Prime Minister and Minister for Foreign Affairs and External Trade, Civil Service and Public Enterprises to speak in reply. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I thank all the honorable members who have raised the issues in relation to this motion before the House. And I'd like to assure them that repealing the bill will take us back to where we have professional input into the selection. And there is no reason to fear that that one cannot be amended as we go along. And it does not need to come back as part of an act or a bill to repeal an act. So I commend the bill before the House, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister. Parliament will now vote. The question is, pursuant to Standing Order 51, A, that the Registration of Skilled Workers Repeal Bill 2025, Bill number 44 of 2025, be considered by Parliament without delay. B, that the bill must pass through one stage at a single sitting of Parliament. C, that the bill must not be referred to a standing committee or other committee of Parliament. And D, that the bill must be debated and voted upon by Parliament on Thursday, the 4th of December, 2025, but that 1 hour be given to debate the bill, with the right of reply being given to the Honourable Prime Minister as the member moving this motion. Does any member oppose the motion? No. There is opposition. As there is opposition, the Parliament will now vote. Open the vote. Close the vote.
The results of the vote as follows: 29 ayes, 10 noes, and 16 have not voted.
Honourable members, there being 29 ayes, 10 noes, and 16 having not been voted, the motion is therefore agreed to. Honourable members, we will now deal with the second bill, and I call upon the Minister for Health and Medical Services, the Honourable Dr. Ratu Antonio Lalambalabu, to move his motion.
Madam Deputy Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 51, I move that A, the Public Health Amendment Bill of 2025, Bill number 43 of 2025, be considered by Parliament without delay. B, that the bill must pass through one stage at a single sitting of Parliament. That the bill must not be referred to a standing committee or other committee of Parliament, and that the bill must be debated and voted upon by Parliament on Thursday, 4th December 2025, but that 1 hour be given to debate the bill with the right of reply given to me as the member moving the motion.
Is there a seconder?
Madam Deputy Speaker, I beg to second the motion.
Thank you. I now call on the Minister for Health and Medical Services, Honourable Ratu Antonio Lalambalabu, to speak to his motion.
Madam Deputy Speaker, the Ministry of Health and Medical Services and the Office of the Solicitor General conducted a comprehensive review of the Public Health Act 1935, which Cabinet had endorsed in its decision number 53 of 2025. The review identified the need to update extremely low penalties, replace outdated roles, and strengthen outbreak response powers. The review of the Act included provisions necessary to facilitate the Building Permits Approval System, or BPAS, wherein the Ministry of Commerce and Business Development is developing BPAS as part of the project Now Fiji. The current Act governs many aspects of buildings, building approval, sanitation, and health standards that require local authority approval, positioning it as one of the key approval agencies in the building permit process. While the complete Public Health Amendment Bill 2025 was prepared and ready for tabling in this Parliament through Cabinet Decision 418 of 2025, a strategic shift dictates that the immediate needs to extract the BPAS component from the larger bill. The objective is to table a focused Public Health Amendment Bill that deals exclusively with necessary legislative changes required BPAS to be implemented without further delay. As such, the Ministry of Health and Medical Services, through the bill, repeals the Public Health Act 1935, Part 3 of Building Section 19, notice to be given, and plan furnished to complement Section 7 of the Town Planning Act of 1946. This action is critical to unlock the path for the government's digital business reform initiatives, while allowing the more substantive long-term public health reforms to proceed as a separate and comprehensive legislative package later. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable members, the floor is now open for debate on the motion. At the end of the debate, we will have the right of reply from the Honourable Minister. Members may speak for up to 20 minutes if you wish to participate in this debate. The floor is now open, Honourable members. Honourable Koya.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. Honourable Deputy Speaker, I thank the Minister for this amendment bill. We don't have any issues because we understand that it's a facilitator, one-line facilitator really for the BPAS system, so we have no objections to it.
Thank you, Honourable Koya. Are there any other interest on debating this bill, Honourable members? I see there is none. I now call on the Minister for Health and Medical Services to speak in reply.
No further comments, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I thank the support of all the honourable members.
Thank you. Parliament will now vote. Honourable members, the question is pursuant to Standing Order 51. A, that the Public Health Amendment Bill 2025, Bill number 43 of 2025, be considered by Parliament without delay. B, that the bill must pass through one stage at a single sitting of Parliament. C, that the bill must not be referred to a standing committee or other committee of Parliament. And D, that the bill must be debated and voted upon by Parliament on Thursday, the 4th of December 2025, and that 1 hour be given to debate the bill, with a right of reply be given to the Honourable Minister as the member moving this motion. Does any member oppose the motion? Thank you. As no member opposes the motion is agreed to unanimously. Honourable members, we will now deal with the third and final bill for today. I now call upon the Minister for Fisheries and Forestry, the Honourable Alitia Mbainivalu, to move her motion. You have the floor, Madam.
Madam Deputy Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 51, I move that the Mahogany Bill 2025 be considered by Parliament without delay, that the bill must pass through one stage at a single sitting of Parliament, that the bill must be immediately referred to the Standing Committee on Justice, Law and Human Rights, that the Standing Committee must report on the bill at a sitting of Parliament next year, and that upon presentation of the report on the bill by the Standing Committee, the bill must be debated and voted upon by Parliament, with a right of reply given to me as the member moving the motion.
Thank you, Madam. Is there a seconder?
Madam Deputy Speaker, I beg to second the motion.
Thank you. I now call on the Minister for Fisheries and Forestry, the Honourable Alitia Mbainivalu, to speak to her motion.
The Honourable Deputy Speaker of Parliament, the Honourable Prime Minister, Honourable Ministers and Assistant Ministers, the Honourable Leader of Opposition, Honourable Members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen. Madam Deputy Speaker, I rise to table before this Honorable House the Mahogany Bill 2025 for its first reading. This bill, Madam Deputy Speaker, marks the most significant overhaul of Fiji's mahogany legislative framework in more than a decade, and it reflects the collective insights and aspirations of landowners, industry operators, statutory bodies, and government stakeholders. Madam Deputy Speaker, the mahogany industry remains one of Fiji's most valuable natural resource sectors, contributing to rural livelihoods, export earnings, and sustainable economic growth. However, the current legislative framework no longer adequately supports the modern needs of the industry. Today, I present a bill that provides the foundation for a fairer, more efficient, and more sustainable mahogany sector, one that honors the interests of resource owners while unlocking broader economic opportunities for Fiji. Madam Deputy Speaker, the development of mahogany legislation began with the Fiji Mahogany Act of 2003, which established the Fiji Mahogany Trust and provided the early commercial oversight of the industry. This was followed by the Mahogany Industry Development Act of 2010, or MIDA, which created the Mahogany Industry Council and outlined the roles of the Fiji Hardwood Corporation Limited and the Fiji Mahogany Trust. In 2011, Madam Deputy Speaker, Parliament introduced the Mahogany Industry Licensing and Branding Act of 2011, which governs mahogany licensing and branding to this day. Madam Deputy Speaker, over time, these laws become restrictive and outdated. Landowners and operators consistently raise concerns about limited landowner representation in decision-making, rigid and narrow licensing structures, difficulties in adjusting log prices, confusion over the distribution of landowner proceeds, restrictions affecting the mandate of Fiji Hardwood Corporation Limited, which often overlaps with the authority of the Itoke Land Trust Board. These issues, Madam Deputy Speaker, collectively demonstrated that a comprehensive reform was urgently needed to bring clarity, justice, and sustainability to the sector. Madam Deputy Speaker, in October of 2024, Cabinet supported this reform by establishing the Cabinet Subcommittee on Mahogany Legislation, which led a full review of the legislation between 2024 and 2025. The Ministry of Forestry worked in close collaboration with the Fiji Hardwood Corporation Limited, Fiji Mahogany Trust, Tauke Land Trust Board, and the Office of the Solicitor General. A legal consultant, Mr. Atunaisa Siwatimbau of Siwatimbau and Sloan, was engaged to undertake the detailed review and facilitate public consultations. Madam Deputy Speaker, the review was comprehensive and inclusive. It began with a one-on-one consultations with government ministries, statutory bodies, and industry experts, ensuring that the first draft of the bill was grounded in practical realities. This was followed by nationwide divisional consultation in April of 2025, where landowners, licensees, operators, and community representatives provided critical feedback on landowner benefits, governance, licensing requirements, and the overall policy direction of the industry. Madam Deputy Speaker, a second round of consultation was held in November of 2025 to review updated provisions. Further internal reviews led to the refined version of the bill that is now before Parliament for its first reading. Madam Deputy Speaker, this process demonstrated strong consensus across the country, emphasizing the need that the mahogany industry requires a modern framework that strengthens landowner benefits, enhances transparency, and restores confidence across the sector. Madam Deputy Speaker, the Mahogany Bill of 2025 is built on two pillars: to provide the equitable and sustainable growth and development of the mahogany industry. Madam Deputy Speaker, landowners are central to the bill's design. The bill strengthens the Fiji Mahogany Trust by returning 20% of Fiji Hardwood Corporation's shareholding to landowners and ensures that governance within the trust is transparent, accountable, and merit-based. It also establishes a new landowner equitable benefit fund, which creates a structured, predictable, and transparent mechanism for distributing proceeds from mahogany sales. Madam Deputy Speaker, this fund guarantees that landowning units can directly and fairly benefit from the commercial value of their plantations. Additionally, The bill encourages greater landowner participation in the commercial aspects of the mahogany supply chain, from harvesting to downstream processing. Madam Deputy Speaker, the bill proposes for the removal of the Mahogany Industry Council, which had been viewed as duplicative and restrictive. It restores regulatory responsibilities to the long-standing institutions like the Ministry of Forestry, the Fiji Mahogany Trust, TLTB, and relevant statutory agencies where they naturally belong. To foster ongoing dialogue and transparency, Madam Deputy Speaker, the bill establishes a Mahogany Forum, which serves as a structured platform for landowners, operators, and government to address concerns collaboratively. It also introduces a Mahogany Tribunal, providing a fair, accessible, and independent avenue for resolving disputes and addressing long-standing grievances that were not effectively dealt with under the current laws. Madam Deputy Speaker, the bill supports long-term sustainability by restoring mahogany plantation lands to the regulatory scope of the Forest Act, ensuring appropriate environmental oversight. It removes the restrictive licensing model under the MILBA framework, helping to create a more open and competitive market environment. In doing so, Madam Deputy Speaker, the bill simplifies regulatory processes, encourages private sector participation, and strengthens investor confidence. These reforms jointly promote sustainable harvesting, support environmental stewardship, and enhance the economic value of Fiji's mahogany resources. Madam Deputy Speaker, one of the most transformative aspects of the Mahogany Bill 2025 is the reform that allows Fiji Hardwood Corporation Limited to expand its operations beyond the narrow function of selling unprocessed logs. Under the current legislative framework, FHCL's role has been confined largely to log production and sale, which has restricted its commercial potential and limited Fiji's ability to capture high value from its own mahogany supply chain. Madam Deputy Speaker, the new bill corrects this limitation by empowering FHCL to participate in processing, value addition, and broader commercial development of mahogany. This includes activities such as sawn timber production, high-value product manufacturing, and deeper engagement in domestic and export markets. Madam Deputy Speaker, unlike the current legislative framework, which is fragmented and restrictive, the Mahogany Bill of 2025 presents a simpler, fairer, and more coherent approach. It eliminates rigid licensing systems, enhances landowner representation, clarifies benefit sharing mechanisms, strengthens dispute resolution, restores environmental oversight, and encourages open market competition. The bill marks a clear departure from the outdated and restrictive provisions of the 2010 and 2011 Acts and replaces them with a system that is transparent, equitable, and aligned with modern forestry governance standards. Madam Deputy Speaker, the reforms contained in this bill deliver significant national benefits. Landowners will enjoy greater influence over decisions affecting their plantations and will benefit from more transparent and predictable revenue sharing arrangements through the new fund. They will also be better supported to participate directly in commercial operations, improving livelihoods and community development. For the industry, the bill removes unnecessary barriers, giving operators a predictable and modern regulatory environment that encourages innovation, efficiency, and investment confidence. For government, the bill ensures better alignment across institutions, strengthens environmental oversight, and contributes to sustainable economic growth and rural development. Madam Deputy Speaker, the Mahogany Bill of 2025 is the product of robust legal analysis, extensive public consultation, and strong interagency collaboration. It reflects the aspirations of landowners, the needs of industry, and the responsibility of government to establish a fair, sustainable, and future-focused legislative framework. I therefore, Madam Deputy Speaker, respectfully commend the Mahogany Bill 2025 to the Honourable House and seek the support of members for its passage during the first reading and request that the bill be referred to the relevant standing committee for detailed examination and public submission before returning to Parliament for its second reading. Unasaka.
Thank you, Honourable Bainivalu. Honourable members, the floor is now open for debate on the motion. At the end of the debate, we will have the right of reply from the Honourable Minister, and you have up to 20 minutes to speak. Honourable Usamate.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I congratulate the Minister
for bringing the bill to Parliament. It's been one that a lot of people have been waiting for, and we look forward to looking at the bill in committee, and we support the passage of this bill.
Thank you, Honourable Usamate. Are there any other honourable members interested in participating in the debate? No. Minakbalib Sara, I call on the Minister for Fisheries and Forestry to speak in reply.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I again thank my colleagues on the other side of the House for their support on the bill, and I look forward to the debate and the passing of this bill in the next sitting of next year. Vinaka.
Thank you. The Parliament will now vote, honourable members. The question is, pursuant to Standing Order 51, A, that the Mahogany Bill 2025 be considered by Parliament without delay. B, that the bill must pass through one stage at a single sitting of Parliament. C, that the bill must be immediately referred to the Standing Committee on Justice, Law and Human Rights. D, that the Standing Committee must report on the bill at a sitting of Parliament next year. And E, that upon the presentation of the report on the bill by the Standing Committee, the bill must be debated and voted upon by Parliament with a right of reply being given to the Honourable Minister as the member moving this motion. Does any member oppose the motion? As no member opposes the motion is agreed to unanimously. Honourable members, that brings us to the end of the sitting today. Parliament is now adjourned until 9:30 tomorrow morning. Naksaka.